John Browning, thanks for being with me today. We're talking today with Amazon bestselling author John Browning about his book, Build a Life, Not a Portfolio. So, John, thanks for taking a few minutes with me today.
All right, you are welcome. I love talking about the subject. That's why I wrote the book.
Absolutely. So, what we're going to do in this series is we're going to let you talk about a little bit about each chapter in your book. And today we're talking about chapter 1. And chapter 1 you titled, "What does money mean to you?" And so I think that's great. Why don't you talk about that chapter and what does money mean to you, John?
Well, I think it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, it's a tool. I talk about this in the book. It's certainly important. We don't want to diminish the importance of money and its role in our lives, but it's a tool. And with that tool, if you plan correctly, if you use it correctly, you can use it to build your best life. Hence the name of the book, right?
That's right.
And I see it as fuel, like you would put it in your car. There's actually a quote at the very beginning of the chapter. I'll read it real quick. It says, "For me, money is fuel. Your life is the vehicle that can take you wherever you want to go, but without fuel, it doesn't go anywhere. And without a plan, who knows where you'll end up? And without consistently following that plan, and when necessary, being willing to adjust, you may get to a destination, but not your best destination."
That's good. That's a good visual picture of money being fuel and your life being the vehicle. And one thing that struck me as we first started working on this book is you're helping people build a life, not just a portfolio. And so many advisors just talk about the portfolio. And you talk about that's important, but what's more important really is your life that you're building today and into the future, right? And that has a lot to do with what money means to you.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I think a lot of people haven't considered the question fully. They just want more of it. They want to buy more things. And that's something that I learned later than I should have. And I think a lot of us learn a little bit later than we should have. It's the question, can money buy happiness, comes up sort of all the time. And we all know the answer. The answer is no. But it can buy things that bring you joy.
Sure.
And kept in the proper perspective. And what does money mean to you, the listener today, or to you, Michael DeLon? And how could you use money to bring more happiness to you or accomplish goals that will make you happy? That's what money really is.
Yeah, that's great. You're just talking about that, and it brought me back to a memory. I was helping a guy do some take apart a shed, right? And having the right tool, because money's a tool, you said. Right. Well, I showed up with my tools. This guy was a construction guy, and so we were pulling nails out of wood. Okay, and he had this tool called I think he called it a cat's claw. Well, he just taps it in there and just and the nails are popping out, and I'm like, what is that thing? Because I didn't own that tool. I had like a screwdriver and a hammer. But having the right tool is important because trust me, that cat's claw brought me great happiness because it made my job so much easier. Same thing here with the right tool. Your life can be happier. You can do some fun things, but it is just a tool. And too many times we get focused on, I mean, if I had that cat's claw here and I was showing it to you, you might go, yeah, Michael, it's a nice tool. Yippee skippy. But until you use it properly, and I think that's what you help people do is understand that money's just a tool. Let's use it properly to help you build memories, moments, investments. What are you trying to make happen? And that's really what you help your clients do is you have conversations with them, try to understand their life, what they're doing today, what are they wanting to do? And talk a bit about that in the process that you go through at Guardian Rock Wealth to help people really, I don't want to say wrestle with this question of what does money mean to you, but to take some time to think about it, right?
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good term, wrestle with it, because our opinions about money, as with many things, typically come from deep in our past. How did our parents treat money? What experiences did you have growing up with money, resources? And that's where things tend to get sideways, or tend to really build into a great understanding of what money is, and how it can work it best into your life. So we typically start off, one of the really interesting things is I deal with a lot of religious clients. I happen to have several who are in the clergy, and I am a Christian. I know you and I have talked about that. You are as well. And it's a really cool thing to have a relationship with a creator and sustainer of the universe is really cool. People can call me and ask me about that too. So passionate about that one. But many times with those who have grown up in, I'll just say, the church, whatever religion, whatever your belief system is, people who have grown up in that atmosphere often have a very interesting, I'll call it, view of money, and they almost think of it as being evil. And sometimes they just strictly avoid the subject. But it's a really interesting stat. Now, I don't claim any responsibility for this. I looked it up on Google, right? But there are 2,350 times where money is referred to in the Bible. So that's more than Jesus is mentioned. It must be pretty important.
Yeah.
So to say, money's not important, or money is evil, I think if you look at the Bible, you'd see that's not really the case.
That's right.
So getting people to really think about that, and where their views about money come from, and what about it is important to them.
Yeah.
And even those who are full-time in the ministry and they are not doing anything for the money, begin to recognize that money is a tool, and what you want to build with it is the next step.
That's right. Yeah. And it is important for today's life, because we all think about money every day as we go to the grocery store or whatever. It's also important for retirement years, right? Most of us are not going to work like Moses until the day we die, right? If you are, great. But most of us are looking for what I call retirement, John, are the years of passive income.
Right.
When I'm not having to go to work, but I'm still getting income. That's what you help people create for their particular situation as you have conversations with them. And that's what we always recommend them do is to connect with you, guardianrockwealth.com. And you can request a free copy of John's Amazon bestselling book, Build a Life, Not a Portfolio, and have a conversation with John Browning around what does money mean to you, and see how he could help you in all things that you're wanting to do. John Browning, thank you for a great conversation around what money means to you, and for all that you do to serve people.
All right. Thanks a lot. It's good talking to you again.